Is the 2019 Mac Pro still worth it in 2022? About that. Hey, what's up guys? So recently, one of my favorite tech channels, Max Tech, covered the M1 Ultra chip. And what I'm about to say isn't just about Max Tech. I spoke with Max Tech and they're aware that I'm making this video. So understand, this isn't a swipe at them. I love those guys, I love that channel, and you should be subscribed to them if you're an Apple fan. But I digress. The entirety of tech YouTube has an extremely bad habit of comparing the top of the line M1 Ultra chip to a very mid 2019 Mac Pro. And it's damn near scandalous because quite frankly, it's confusing consumers. People are running around in comment sections all over tech YouTube thinking that this is the best that the 2019 Mac Pro has to offer. But it's not. This is the best that the 2019 Mac Pro has to offer, and it's a 28-core CPU with 4 W6800X GPUs in it. Apple is comparing the M1 Ultra chip to an RTX 3090 and even claiming that it beats it. Stop it. Because quite frankly, while it is an apple-to-apple comparison, it's not exactly apples to apples. Let's talk about that. See, the top of the line maxed out M1 Max MacBook Pro and the Mac Studio maxed out with the M1 Ultra are the creme de la creme of current Apple tech, running on that buttery, smooth, sweet Apple silicon in a configuration of a 3.2 GHz 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU, 32 gigabit unified memory, and a terabyte of storage. And on the M1 Ultra side of things, it's even more ludicrous, sporting a 20-core CPU, a 64-core GPU, 128 gigs of unified memory, and an 800 gigabyte per second memory bandwidth. However, on the 2019 Mac Pro side, everyone in the game is running a 3.6 gigahertz 12-core Xeon CPU alongside a Vega 2 GPU. Vega 2 GPU, as in one. 192 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage, and an afterburner card. So now, the comparison is already flawed because they should be comparing the best MacBook Pro versus the best 2019 Mac Pro. So at this point, it's already a setup, a damn near assassination attempt to put literally the highest quality, high-end Apple silicon against the already crippled because it's running on 2-generation old Intel Silicon Mac Pro is ludicrous. This machine is barely mid-tier in the Mac Pro lineup and a horrible comparison to a point of downright deception to act like it's the best that the 2019 Mac Pro has to offer. It is far from it. So, okay, then what is the best that a 2019 Mac Pro has to offer? Let's talk about that. The best you could do in a 2019 Mac Pro right now is pretty much ludicrous. We're talking about a 2.5 gigahertz 28-core CPU, turbo boosted up to 4.7 gigahertz by the way, with 1.5 terabytes of RAM. 1.5 terabytes of RAM. And 2 Radeon W6800X Duo GPUs, as in 4 GPUs, each of which, by the way, is 27% faster than the Vega 2 GPU, powering Max Tech's Mac Pro. In other words, the best that Mac Pro has to offer is approaching 5 times faster than Max Tech's Mac Pro. So why is this conversation even important here in the year of our Lord 2022 with the M1 Ultra Mac Pro right around the corner? Well, because where the is that corner? Apple is an incredible company. In fact, they're my favorite tech company and they've made me a gaggle of money during the pandemic, but they are notoriously famous for holding their cards literally inside of their chests when it comes to new technology. Nobody really knows when the M1 Ultra Mac Pro is going to actually come out, although I predict we'll be seeing a preview at WWDC in a couple of months with a release date probably around September, but let me back up on that. That, my friends, is a very serious problem for professionals like me, because when you own a production company, you have clients, and those clients need things. And surely as time passes, the power-hungry demands of your clients increase. So, for example, when a client asks me to build and insert a billboard into a storm scene as a car is driving down a rainy freeway, and by the way, that rainy freeway isn't rainy yet, and they're gonna do a whip pan and it's gonna zoom out from the car over here and whip pan and zoom in over here, and they want me to add the rain too, by the way, and it needs to be storming, and I have to motion track that scene in Mocha Pro. I have to match move that environment in 3D Equalizer. I have to rebuild the geometry in Cinema 4D. I have to render all the passes in Octane, and then I have to composite everything and do more post-production and pass rendering and final touches in After Effects. And by the way, the director will inevitably later ask you to blow it all up in glorious particle style, so put that big brain on because you're gonna need Houdini. Now, on my 2020 iMac 5K workstation that superseded my 2019, 18, and 17 iMacs, this could literally take 2 weeks or more due to the polygon count, HDMI environments, rendering, and exporting. But the top tier Mac Pro, well, she can cut that same project down to a couple days. Now, some of you might say, yeah, that's true, and I agree with you, Callie, but honestly, the M1 Ultra should be out by year's end and is going to be way more powerful than the Intel Mac Pro. Is it though? Is it though? For the sake of simplicity, we're going to assume a one-to-one growth association in relation to power upgrades. Let's do the math on the upcoming powerhouse. In theory, how powerful exactly can it be? Well, extremely powerful, but not as powerful as you think. See, the current M1 Ultra is frankly incredible and boasts some powerful numbers. We're talking a Cinebench score of 24,147, a Geekbench single core of 1785, a multi-core score of 24,080, and thanks to the 64-core GPU, it's no slouch in Octane rendering, it's no slouch in Blender. So don't get me wrong, the numbers are monstrous. In fact, as it turns out, about 50 to 75% less monstrous than the current top tier 2019 Mac Pro. But Callie, all the big tech reviewers are saying that the Mac Studio is more powerful than the Mac Pro. Well, sometimes it is. Let me explain. When it comes to CPU, the Mac Studio does in fact come out on top. So if you're a studio and you're mainly running CPU intensive tasks, then the Mac Studio is perfect for you. However, anyone that's buying a Mac Pro is buying it for one thing and one thing only: GPU. That sweet, sweet GPU. Sorry. Is it hot in here? The top of the line Mac Pro, which is right here, is running two W6800X Duo cards, basically 4 W6800X GPUs. So how fast is one of these cards exactly? Well, one W6800X Duo is approximately 27% more powerful than the best graphics card that you can get in a PC, the king of PC graphics cards, the RTX 3090. And we're talking about two W6800X Duos in the Mac Pro, making that machine a whopping 54% faster than two RTX 3090s. There's not a lot of coverage on what the GPUs in the Mac Pro are actually capable of because video editors are far more focused on editing. Naturally, I myself have edited multiple feature films, and I can tell you these MacBook Pros are an absolute dream, both in the studio and out on location while filming, especially with ProRes, which I can confirm I work with on 99% of projects. And the reason for that is those insanely powerful media engines that Apple has created and perfected in these systems. Those media encoders are basically the $2,000 afterburner card in the 2019 Mac Pro on all the crack. And there's 4 of them in the maxed out Mac Studio. That's insane. But that tells us nothing for those of us who also have to do 3D rendering and 3D animation, and really just have anything GPU based going on. And those are the things that people in our industry need to know. See, I was originally holding out, and I was gonna hold out for the Apple Silicon based Mac Pro, especially because I love my M1 Max MacBook Pro, and I knew the M1 based Mac Pro was going to be and will be an absolute monster. But A client had a $15,000 budget to give me because his project needed my brand of dope. The problem, the 3D animation intensive project was absolutely going to take 27 years to create and render on my iMac. Damn it, Apple. But as I already pointed out, there's a point where you actually have to turn down clients. It's because your system simply isn't powerful enough to get the projects requested of you done in the timeline that you are asked to get them done within. And it is so very, very painful to turn down all that cream. Wu-Tang is for the kids. And secondly, there aren't any channels looking out for those of us that have to do more than editing, sound design, music production, and color correction, all of which I professionally do. But again, this is a part of the puzzle that just isn't getting the coverage that I would like to see. And so I decided to get that coverage for myself. So if you guys have questions or tests that you would like to have me run, let me know in the comments and I will respond to them directly in the next video about this machine. Now, before I go, I'll address the elephant in the room, me, because I'm sure that I come off as someone a bit more polished than a person that just now started a YouTube channel. Well, let me explain. My name is Michael Simpson Jr. and I'm an actor and a music artist. Musically, I go by Callaway Jones, and my friends, they call me Callie. Over the years, I've used all the money that I've made from acting and music to fund building my production company, Glowstick Based Studios, where I've gained credits over the years as a director, a VFX supervisor, a sound designer, an editor, a colorist, and every other job that there is associated with making a film, a TV show, a commercial, a movie trailer, and producing music. And as a result of my primary jobs, I'm very comfortable in front of cameras and an audience and with dialogue. So on this channel, you're going to find a very wide range of videos, from reviews of my other gear, from drones and cameras to lights to software and movie reviews even. Also, this channel was started in 2012. As far as relaunching my channel finally after all these years, well, that's because of Max Tech. I should be thanking them. And lastly, I also want to point out that I love Max Tech. And just because his videos made me frustrated enough to decide to make a video about it doesn't mean I'm not here for it. They're a great channel and I watch every single video the second it releases. Other channels that I obsessively watch and that are similar to mine are MKBHD, Unbox Therapy, Lou Later, Renee Ritchie, iJustine, Linus Tech Tips, and Corridor Digital. So if you like any of those channels, there's a decent chance you're gonna like mine. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, throw me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Just kidding. I was gonna fall backwards. I don't have an outro yet. Maybe, I don't know, maybe should I just lay down? Does that work?